What is a grimoire? What is a book of shadows? How can I use them? Is the book of shadows for dark magic only? Here I'm going to debunk all of these questions and help you create your own personal grimoire and to start practicing your magic. My name is Aileen, Mexican Bruja, and today we're going to go into what's the difference of a grimoire versus a book of shadows, the history of both of these ones, how to start your own, what prompts can you use on it. So first, grimoire versus book of shadows. Although they can be used interchangeably, they have a key difference between both of them. A grimoire is mostly used to write the spells, rituals, and ceremonial magic. It mostly has instructions of how to use it, how to perform certain spells, in which moon phase, by the way, check out how to spell cast with the moon. And mostly has just these instructions and information about it. So it's more of like a recipe book, if you want to look at it that way. On the other hand, the Book of Shadows actually has more of the experiences of the witch. It's more of a journal. So here you can actually put a little bit of the prompts of, you can of course add the instructions of any spells, but you can later add like reflection periods of how do you feel, how do you think it is working, if it's not, some of the dreams that come to you, what are the messages that are coming from your guides. All of these things can fall into a Book of Shadows. You can, of course, use both of them. There's people that have a grimoire and a Book of Shadows, or there's people that just use one book for everything, and that it's fine. I just want you to know the difference between these two, but also to understand that you can still find outside people that are going to use grimoires for everything and just call it a grimoire, even though it could be used as a Book of Shadows. But now you know the difference, you know how it works. Now, for the history of grimoires, it goes back to the Renaissance periods in Europe, where there was a lot of occultism and all of these magical practices happening, and people needed a way to preserve all of these practices and pass it from generation to generation, or simply to just remember for themselves how do they work and what are the instructions for each of the incantations, prayers, talismans that they used, etc. Grimoire comes from the word grammaire, which means grammar or book of instruction, which, as we already know, is how grimoires work, are the instructions for each spells or each ceremonies or rituals that we want to perform. These grimoires contain prayers, invocations, and other religious elements. Some of the most famous grimoires include the Key of Solomon, the Grimoire of Armadale, and the Book of Abramelin. These texts were often written in code or cipher to protect the secrets from the initiated persons. So this is why we can often see a lot of these books and a lot of these grimoires with some of the scriptures that are not any language actually, because they are just being protected. These are just in code, so other people cannot see what is happening in there unless they have the clearance, unless they have the knowledge and the wisdom to practice any of these incantations. Today the grimoires are also used for practitioners of the magic. You can use yourself your own grimoire as you wish. You can put all of these elements. You can decide if you're gonna use it just for yourself or if you're gonna share this with the world. There are a lot of spell books and grimoires out in the internet actually, and you can find a lot of spells that you can use. You can decide to add them to your own personal grimoire or to just use that other one. And this, I feel that the most resemblance is of a recipe cookbook, because you have all of the instructions, all of the elements, and how to use them. On the other hand, we have the Book of Shadows, which was used by Gerald Garner in the 1940s. He's one of the practitioners and founders of the modern Wicca. He claimed that a Book of Shadows was a collection of ancient spells, folklore, divinations, and again, a little bit of like a grimoire book. What makes the great difference is that he used it as kind of a journal. It was handwritten and he made a lot of prompts inside of it. So over the time, some other practitioners just took the same Book of Shadows and started changing according to their beliefs. So if there was something that they found they resonated more with, then they changed it and they inscribed their own journal. So nowadays you can use your own Book of Shadows in order to write in it not only the spell work and the rituals and the ceremonies, divinations, prayers, talismans, and whatever other instructions for your spells, but you can also use it as a shadow work book. What things are you feeling? What are you experimenting when you communicate with your guides, etc. So now, how can I do my own grimoire? So the important part of this is just to record your spells. So for example, you want to write down spell name, spell topic, the moon zodiac and phase. What are the ingredients that you swapped, or little notes? For example, if you, I don't know, let's say you put first the cayenne pepper and then you used rose quartz, and you want to write that down, the date of the spell and the weather. I have my own Grimoire and I have all of these entries, and for example here the results, immediate, short term, and long term. That way you know exactly how the spell is working, if you have to do some actual extra work or not. If you're interested in having your own Grimoire, check the link in my description. This is super cool. It has dotted grid, and I've been just using it to write down my own spells. It has some just to get you initiated, opportunity candle, and divination tea. It has all of the steps, literally like a cookbook recipe for spells. And in the back, you can actually use it as a book of shadows, as it has a part when you can use just your witchy notes, and you can draw here and put guidances, stuff from the universe, etc. It's super cool because it also has a witchy appendix of the candle colors, how to use them, how to use the phases of the moon, how to use some herbs and talismans. Now this is for a grimoire, and for example, I used to have, before I made this, I used to have a book of shadows too, and here I just wrote like a lot of knowledge. I didn't even know what I was doing at the beginning, but here in this book, and these are prompts that you can use for yourself, these are just ideas. I do have a couple of spells, how they worked out. I have archangels and what are they, what are their labors, like why would I call Archangel Raphael, or why would I call Archangel Gabriel? I have a lot of angels here. Quartzes, what are they used for? How to clean them. Codes, numerology. I have a little bit of astrology here too. Tarot. So really you can put anything that you want to keep knowledge on. I use this for only magical stuff. So anything that I'm just learning, I just add it into here. I learned Magic astrology recently, so it is here. How to, according to the order of dawn, how is the relationship between astrology and tarot. All of those things you can add into your grimoire. You can also put prompts. For example, new moon and full moon reflections. What am I letting go? What are the seeds that I'm planting? Why do I feel stuck? What makes me feel frustrated? You can use it for a guide as what spiritual practices you want to follow. So for example, you could, let's say, have a list of 5 things that you want to try out, and then you write in your book of shadows, how has all of them made you feel? How were you when you started? And how you felt after you did it. If it was hard, if it wasn't, if it was hard but rewarding, or if it was just plain hard and leaving you frustrated and not going anywhere. Remember that the Book of Shadows can be of reflection and part of our spiritual journey. A reflection, prompting how to do shadow work with ourselves in order to become better each and every day. You can, of course, write the spell work and the results as I showed you in the grimoire. Crystals and herbs, what the internet says or what a book says versus what they actually can do for yourself. So for example, let's say sodalite is always used for mind calming and tranquility and to be more objective, but for some reason every time that you wear it, you're just able to feel unconditional love. So they of course could be related, but next time that you look into your book and you want to use something for unconditional love, you know that instead of using rose quartz as every other book says, for you specifically, sodalite works so much better. So just try doing this, put this prompt into your grimoire, and every time that you use it on a spell, or just like try it out. It said somewhere that howlite was a great stone for meditation, but I found it that for myself the best stone for meditation is, I don't know, citrine quartz. So all of these things and how they work for you, what you experience each time, it's going to help you a lot more when you're doing your incantations, and in no time you're going to be a great practitioner with just allowing to feel to follow your intuition instead of just following instruction for somebody else. And then you can check in your book of shadows how each things work better for yourself. So another thing that you can add to your grimoire is how to recognize your spirit. What kinds of guides are next to you? what types of guides, spirits, helpers, healers, masters, animals, elementals, etc. are coming your way. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, because I am going to be talking about this and how to recognize them, how to work with them, and that's something that you can write on your own grimoire and to understand who helps you most with which element or which part of your life. Now that you have it, check it out. There are some spells here that you can start trying out and writing the results, or this is a video that YouTube thinks that you will like.